What's up? I'm back. I'm doing a video on Ready to Love. And I haven't done a video since like one of the first couple of times I've been meaning to do videos, just hadn't got there. So let's go ahead. Let me welcome everybody back. Welcome back to my channel to talk about some Ready for Love. I'm so excited to kind of talk about some things so I can get some things off my chest. So let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. If you're new to my channel, I do recaps on reality shows, movies, whatever my heart feels called to. I do reviews on it or my reactions to it. So if you're like that, then go ahead and join my channel, subscribe, hit the like button, share with a friend if you know that they like reality shows and same ones that I like, and also smash that notification bell so you'll be notified about all of my uploads. Now, let's get into it, y'all. Now, I am a little bit under weather, a little bit congested, but I just wanted to go ahead and get this video out to y'all. I didn't even write down what happened. I'm just going to kind of talk off the dome about some of these couples and some of these things that's been happening on Ready to Love. So let's start with Blake. Let's just talk about Blake for a second. I think that Blake, I don't think he likes Sue-Ann. Let's just go ahead and make it a buck. He don't like Sue-Ann, but Sue-Ann is going to be that girl that's going to keep him kind of in the mix and kind of keep him on the show, because whatever he had going on with Jeffrey did not work out. I think that Jeffrey is not lying. I think that Blake did say what he said to her. I don't know if he meant it, but I definitely think he said something like that to her, because he definitely said something like that to Sue-Ann. Not the same thing verbatim, but he definitely was saying some things about Sue-Ann. And, out here in these internet streets, I heard that Blake got some control issues. And I can definitely see that he comes across a little controlling to me. He comes across that he's very arrogant, like he knows everything. And he's the smartest person in the room. He comes across like that. He may not be like that in real life, but that's what he's coming across to me. He did say that he was an MP in the military, a military policeman. So I can see the military in him. I can see all of that. However, I definitely see some ticky ticky boom boom behind those eyes. He just doesn't come off. And when I say ticky ticky boom boom, that means you are a it's like, so you could have something behind the scenes that could be wrong with you. Like you could be a little bit explosive if you really needed to, or if you needed to. I see the controllingness about him. I definitely think he said whatever he said to Jeffrey. I don't think she's lying. I think Sue-Ann is definitely being an advocate for Blake, but I think she's being an advocate for him because she likes him. And so because she likes him, she's going to go after Jeffrey because she sees Jeffrey as a threat to her man. So Sue-Ann, they have to go and give him a kiss on what was it, the last episode? She had to go sit on his lap and say, give him a kiss. And then she basically said that they together, that's her boyfriend. So I don't know. Sue-Ann comes across, like I said in the earlier video that I did, she comes across as a pick me, in my opinion. And I feel like she sees Jeffrey as someone who went after her man or somebody that she really likes. And so she's just going to kind of poke holes in Jeffrey's story without even considering the fact that something could be a little bit true about it. So I don't know what Blake is filling Sue-Ann's head up with in their private time, but he's definitely filling her head up with some nonsense, and she's definitely taking whatever he's saying and believing it, and she's she is full flat. She's full flat tire. She's down for him. Ain't nothing anybody can say about Blake that she is not going to believe it. She's not going to believe it. She's going to be that girl that's going to have to go through something. She's going to have to see it with her own eyes for her to believe it. And I don't think even the first few times she may see something. And I think that her women, we have intuition. I think that she even knows that something that Jeffrey could be saying could be right, but she don't want Jeffrey to be right because she don't like Jeffrey. And so she's gonna go and run into the sunset with her man, who she thinks is her man, and she's going to quickly find out that all that glitters is not gold. And I can't wait to the reunion. I'm sorry, under the weather. So I can't wait to reunion and see what actually happens with Blake and Sawyer, if she would see something by then, but I doubt it because I know a lot of times they do the reunion like maybe 4 or 5 episodes in. So we are on the 7th episode, so they probably could have already had the reunion by now. But I really think that Sawyer is going to be that girl that has to see it for herself. She's not going to believe anybody else. Seeing is believing for her. Excuse me. So on to Jeffrey. Since we're talking about Jeffrey, her connections are Blue. Her connection is Andre's back, so it's now Andre again, and Mark Anthony. Now with her and Mark Anthony, I definitely see where they have that chemistry. I think it's more sexual chemistry. I think she's more attracted, like she gets the feels around Mark Anthony. And Mark Anthony, he is a cutie now. He's a cutie, and I think that when he be staring longingly into her eyes, she get butterflies and whatnot. So I think that's what it has to say. What she likes about Mark Anthony. But I'm concerned that Mark Anthony really don't like kids, or he doesn't want kids right now, or I don't think he's ready to step in and be like that father figure to her kids. She has 3 kids. Like, I don't think Mark Anthony is thinking things through when it comes to Jeffrey. Now Jeffrey does put on the baby boys and the light boys, and from what I understand from matchmakers, that is what, to put on that type of voice, that draws them in. So maybe that's what Jeffrey knows. But she is very, soft and delicate, and I think that's what's drawing Mark Anthony in. I don't think he's thinking long term about actually that she has 3 kids, and that's a lot. That's a lot for someone who does not have kids and to be as young as he is. So moving on to her and Blue, Jeffrey and Blue. Jeffrey, I think Blue was was the guy that I need more numbers and I need people to be vouching for me in the when they get together. So Blue is a person that can vouch for her. She can kind of string Blue along while I really cultivate other relationships with other people. So I don't think she really feels it for Blue, but he's there as someone that's going to vouch for her when they get together, and say that she's in his top. She's going to string him along just enough to be in his top to the point where she makes her decision. So she's playing the game and she's playing it well. Blue, I guess he doesn't realize that, but you being played, Blue. So that's where I get with that. And Jeffrey and Andre, he's back. So I see Andre as a contender for Mark Anthony. I think that she vibes with Andre a little bit more because he's a little bit older. But I don't know how I don't know. She might be attracted to Andre. I don't know. I don't know if Jeffrey really feels it for anybody really. But I think if she had to make a choice today, it would probably be Andre. Because she, today in this past episode, when her and Sue Ann and Blake got into it, she told Andre, I didn't want you to see me like that. I really didn't want you to see me like that. And he was eating that up, and he was there to comfort her because Andre is a comforter because he did the same thing for Cynthia when she cried at their date. He comforted her and he made her feel safe and secure. So I think he does the same for Jeffrey. Now, also, she did reveal to Mark Anthony that she suffers with Crohn's disease. That's why she has to stay positive. So maybe that's the reason for the little baby boy, so she don't get stressed out and get overly worked up about things. But I know a certain other YouTubers who review the show is talking about how she always looks sleepy, and she said the Crohn's disease make her feel fatigued and have pain in her stomach and stuff. So maybe that's the reason why she does, because she does be looking sleepy on there. So I don't think it has to do anything with her eyelashes, but I do think it could be fatigue. I suffer from fatigue sometimes with my iron levels. So I know when you're tired, you're just tired. And so maybe that's one of the reasons she's trying to push through, but she's really tired and fatigued from dealing with her Crohn's disease. So, but she did divulge that to Mark Anthony, which, he didn't know what it was. He was just like, wow, I don't know what Crohn's disease is. But he definitely seemed to take it in stride and didn't, and he comforted her, and asked how the kids deal with it. So I think that did spoke volumes for Jeffree. However, I still feel like Jeffree is just really sexually attracted to him, and she feels all the feels when she gets next to him and he's staring at her eyes and licking his lips and everything because he is great to look at. He's very cute. He's probably one of the better looking guys on the show. So yeah, that's all I got with Jeffree. Comment down below how y'all feeling about Jeffree. Um, let's see. I'm trying to go off the dome because I haven't come with y'all. I didn't even make any notes. So next person, Jonique. I like Jonique. She got voted off this past episode on episode 7. She got voted off, but she took it in stride. She wasn't gonna let them stress her out, and she was like, "My man just ain't here." But I think Jonique, her man was not there. I mean, she had a little, little something, something with Tony. But the person I thought that she would probably vibe with the most, or kind of be on the same level, would be with Lyndon. I saw them kiki this episode. They were laughing and talking and stuff, and I didn't just get friendship vibes from them, but I thought those two would probably end up having a good time together. They seem like they would be. I can see them painting the town red together. Like they both, I can see them partying. He's bartending or he's at his bar. She comes through, hang out at the bar with them. They laugh and joke. When he gets off, they go and do some other stuff. I just saw them hanging out together. She did have a connection with Tony. Pretty Tony is what I like to call him. Pretty Tony, he had a little connection with Jonique, but I just think that it was like a numbers game. I needed somebody else to be vouching for me in the ladies' lounge when it all came down to it to keep me on the show. I do think he liked some of the things that Jonique had to say. I think a lot of the guys counted Jonique out because of how she comes off. She comes off a little. I'm so hood. She comes off a little as that, but once you get to know her and peel back some of those layers, she really got a lot to say. And she came out to be one of my favorite women on the show. And I like her. I like her a lot. And I feel like she kept it real. I feel like she didn't pull no punches with nobody. She wasn't on here to play a game. She just came on here to see if she could literally connect with someone. And she didn't. But I'm pretty sure there's someone out there for Jonique because she was vulnerable. She cried with Tony. She cried with Linda. And not that, just crying makes you vulnerable, but she did, speak about some things. I just think that the guys don't know how to handle, someone like Jonique. And I feel like she could see through see through a lot of BS, which she definitely saw a lot of BS in Blake. Again, Suanne, for some reason, don't see it, but a lot of people can see the craziness behind Blake's eyes. And Jonique picked that up really, really quickly. She's a boss. I know I was watching Little Black Book. They talk about her, having to rest in her masculinity from being a boss, and then is she able to switch things off and rest in her femininity when she does come, when in relationships? I think she can. Honestly, I think she can. She just needs someone to kind of meet her where they accept her for who she is. I like Jonique, and I like that she didn't make a big fuss about being left. Now, the guys could have used their lifeline on her. Now they wasted a lifeline, and the lifeline is gone. I think they could have kept her there, but again, yet still, I don't think her man was there. But she could have went in an alliance with Linda, and Linda could have kind of threw her name out there just to keep her on the show. But at the end of the day, she probably would have left with no one. I don't see her vibing like that with any other guys. And Tony kind of seemed like he has his eyes mostly set on Morgan and Marcia. So now moving on to Tony and Morgan, and Tony and Marcia. Tony and Morgan, they seem like they have a lot of chemistry. I wouldn't even be surprised if they did the do already. But I think Morgan is playing a good game. She's playing some games with Tony. Like when she said that, Linda was the sexiest, she was reeling Tony in because she said on that episode that she don't feel like Tony give her enough attention. So she's going to get the attention from him that she wants, whether it's negative or positive. So she started throwing things out there, little breadcrumbs that Lyndon is sexy. I have a good time with Lyndon, and all that in Tony's mind is just is rolling around in his brain that, oh, what do Lyndon got that I ain't got? I'm better than Lyndon. So now he's in a competition with Lyndon that really ain't no competition. But because she keep throwing out these breadcrumbs about Lyndon and vibing with Lyndon, is really driving Tony crazy. So now all he can focus on is competing for Morgan, which you really ain't competing for Morgan because she wants you. So yeah, so them two are really playing. Morgan is really playing a mind game with Tony, and she is succeeding at it. And but she really wants him. That's the guy she wants, and she's going to do it by any means necessary. Now, will this be a long-lasting relationship? I don't know, because when you start out relationship playing games and doing mind games, it usually that's how it's going to be in the relationship the entire time between you two. So I don't know if this is going to work in the long run, but they definitely have a lot of chemistry and they do look good together. Pretty Tony also likes Marcia. Marcia is she got body yaddy yaddy for days. She likes to show off her assets, which I don't blame her. She looks good. I like the way she dresses. I like her personality. But she's not running after Tony. She's not being aggressive as Morgan is with Tony. And, she's trying to make Tony, work for her and not the other way around. But Tony wants a woman who's a little bit more aggressive like Morgan. But I think the attraction to Marcia, I think, is there. But I honestly think that if Tony was to pick someone, he would pick Morgan. And I think overall he looks like him and Morgan look like they go together. But I don't know if it would fit because of the personalities. And Morgan is a little bit possessive at the same time. And she says that Tony is a flirt. She doesn't like that, especially a possessive woman. I can't. She gonna be in the club fighting or somewhere fighting all the time because Tony is a flirt, and because you're possessive, you up here upset and going off on some chick behind it. And Tony just gonna think it's funny because he's going to see that, oh, that's how much she likes me. And I don't see Marcia doing that. Marcia ain't going to let no girl see her sweat. She ain't going to let no girl see her sweat because she is the prize. So, yeah, I don't see that happening with Marcia and Tony, but I think Marcia is a good catch too. She used to have a connection with Blue. I think that kind of fizzled out. I think she's too much for Blue. Blue needs some down to earth chick who willing to go fishing with them. He's just a really laid back guy. So I think he needs the kind of girl that's just gonna go fishing with him, that's gonna be low key, but still, all put together, but he wants some girl that's gonna Netflix and chill. I think that's what he wants, and I think he just wants an overall good girl. I don't think Jeffrey is that one, and I don't think Marcia is that. I mean, Marcia is a good girl. I'm not saying she's not, but I don't think Marcia is that gonna be the girl that's going to do like outdoor activities and adventures and stuff like that. I don't see her being that, and I think she even made mention of that before. Who else am I missing? Mercedes and Mark Anthony. Mercedes, I like them together. They come off young and vibrant, and I like their energy when they're together. I feel like they fit more than he and Jeffrey. I like Mercedes for Mark Anthony. And I think that they have a lot of things in common. And I think that they will have they will have a lot of chemistry. And I think that he needs to set his sights on Mercedes. Mercedes also has a connection with Anthony. I think Anthony's a little bit too much for Mercedes. I think he's a little bit serious, and I think Mercedes is still looking for fun. And Anthony, and I know she made mention to Anthony that he does have a child, and she's not sure she's ready to be in that mode yet. So that was very insightful for Mercedes and very honest. And so I'm glad that she made that decision for herself. And I really feel like at the end of the day, she's feeling Marc Anthony more than anybody on the show. And that's her connection. And I think that she's going to try to work with that connection. I can't wait till they go to the house all together. This is going to be interesting when they all end up going to the house and they vie for each other's attention. Um, Anthony and Sue Ann, they also had a date this episode where she came over to his house and he made her some dinner. They kind of cooked together. She kind of finished off the salad, and but Sue Ann ain't feeling him. She won't Blake, and I don't know why she even trying it and trying to make it seem like it's all Anthony's fault. But the chemistry is not there with them two unless they're dancing. So they did dance, at the end of the day, and she said that put him back up there. No, it didn't, girl. You won't Blake, and Blake is your end all be all. So I don't know why, but he is. So you already called him your boyfriend, so I don't know why you're wasting Anthony's time. Anthony also has a connection with Cynthia. Cynthia and he are Haitian. They got had a lot in common. He was looking good in his suit the last time he went on a date with Cynthia. So Cynthia was definitely feeling him, but to our surprise, Andre came back on episode 6. So her and Andre had a deep connection together. So I don't know what that means for Anthony, but I think Anthony is probably looking towards more of Cynthia, and Cynthia is got Andre and her together. Now I can't wait for Cynthia and Andre to go back on a date again to kind of see where their chemistry is. After he's been out, he had C19, so he did not. They've been kind of on a hiatus, and she started really dating Anthony and really liked Anthony. So I don't know which one. I think either one of those will make a good connection with them. I think her and Anthony, they look like they made a nice looking couple. I don't know if Andre has kids, and I don't know if he wants kids. And I think that that would be a factor, especially if Cynthia doesn't want any more kids for Anthony, from Andre does. So that might cause an issue. Not sure how Anthony feels about having more kids. I know he has a daughter, and he's a very sounds to be like a very loving father. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. If I'm missing anybody, those are the ones that are sticking out to me right now. Sue Ann, your child. I feel bad for Sue Ann. And Sue Ann, I don't know how old she said that she was on this show. I can't remember, but she definitely comes across in her 40s. So if she says she's not in her 40s, she definitely comes across as a woman in her 40s. So she definitely reads a little bit older. But her games with Jeffrey is very childish, very childish. I think that's pretty much it so far. Though that's really what my thoughts are. Now, this particular episode 7, Morgan and Blake got into it. When I tell you, Morgan read Blake for filth, she said he's a malignant cancer. She said he feels like he's a cancer, not benign, but malignant. Yes, Morgan. Yes, thank you so much for reading him for filth. She said, I don't think you're here to love. I don't know what anybody sees in you. And she just went off on him, and he needed to hear that. If she could have sent him home that on that after that date, yes. he would have been sent home. And I'm pretty sure that's going to cause an issue again and bring it up. And I hope Tony puts Blake in check. So if that's going to be your girl, you need to protect your girl and put him in check. I hope he don't say nothing crazy about Morgan in that men's lounge, because if so, he needs to be put in check for it, because she said everything that she should have said, because he feels like because Morgan wants kids, that she'll do, have kids by any means necessary and stuff like that. You don't know Morgan, sir, to be putting that on her just because she says she wants kids. And now you're trying to make it seem like she's out here desperate and she'll just have a kid with any and everybody. If that was the case, she could have probably been had a child if that was the case. Yeah, I'll tell everything that Morgan said to Blake, I was just like, yes. I was like, yes, Morgan, get him. She got a round of applause from me when she said what she had to say to Blake, and I'm glad she said what she had to say, and she dropped the mic and she left, and she just and that was it. She didn't even she paid him with dust, and Blake deserved every little bit of it, in my opinion. I didn't really talk about Lyndon. Lyndon has a connection with, who does Lyndon have a connection with? He supposedly has a connection. Well, Mercedes and shot him down, says she sees him as a friend. And then his only other option, who was it? Yeah, I can't remember who else. That means Lyndon really don't have no real connections, because I can't even remember who his connections are on the show. Oh, Morgan. I said that. Morgan just stringing him along. She don't want Lyndon. She don't want nothing to do with Lyndon. But he is a pawn to keep her name in the gentleman's lounge as to be someone that is going to have her back. So yeah, that's all I see when it comes to them two. But I do like Lyndon. I do like Lyndon. I think he's there for a good time. I just don't think his match is there. Kind of like Jody. I just don't think his match is there. But I think Lyndon and his Hoochie Daddy shorts, him and Randall need to go from last season. They need to go out and hang out together and wear Hoochie Daddy shorts together and see who they can catch. um, I think that's pretty much it. Now, Andre did put 20 on 10 going after Mercedes, talking about she didn't check on him when he was out sick. And she was just like, well, you dropped out from you dropped off and said that you weren't coming back. So I set my sights on my other connections. And I see both sides. Like if we were a connection and I had a connection with someone and they said that they were ill, I would probably, send them a nice little text. Hey, get well soon, thinking about you, or let me know if you need me to drop you some soup off or something. Like, or I would have just say, how are you feeling or something like that. I heard you were sick. Just want to see how you were feeling, if you were good. That's my personality, but maybe, like Mercedes is like out of sight, out of mind. You said you're dropping from the show, so let's move on and cultivate my other connections. Now, could she have sent him a little text to say, hey, thinking about you, or I hope you're doing okay? Yes, she could have, but she did not. And I think Andre is kind of keep harping on it. I'm just like, dude, get over it. She didn't do it. Now you see who she is, and maybe she's not that compassionate. Maybe you're looking for a more compassionate chick, and she's not it. So you kind of have to move on and just call a thing a thing. And respectfully, I'm just going. We just not a match. If you are not compassionate enough to check on me, then we're not a match. If she could have said, "All right, then I got it." She liked Marc Anthony anyway, so it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter at this point. She's into Marc Anthony. I bet she would have checked on Marc Anthony. I'm pretty sure she would have. So yeah, that's all I got on Ready to Love. Comment down below. What do you think? I just wanted to come and give my whole synopsis on, the show and where I see it going at this point and how I feel about some of the couples. I definitely feel like once they get into the house together, it's going to be some issues. Once they get in the house together, especially between Tony and Linda, if Linda make it to the house, it's going to be some issues because Tony is already like his blood is boiling that Linda's name is even coming out of Morgan's mouth. So that he's right there. He has an issue with Linda, but Linda don't have no idea what's going on at this point. So yeah, it's probably gonna be a rumble in the jungle between, and Linda ain't gonna take Tony serious. I can see Linda be like, man, go ahead with that. Ain't even that serious, and that's just going to make Tony even more mad. So yeah, Pretty Tony is about to blow his top on in that house. I bet you anything that's going to happen. And hopefully if Sue-Ann and I hope the Sue-Ann, Blake, and Jeffrey thing is going by the wayside because I don't even want to hear about it no more. Advocate Sue, leave her alone. And Jeffrey, don't even pay Advocate Sue dust and act like Blake ain't even there. Don't even let them see you sweat, girl. So that's my opinions. Comment down below. Do you agree, disagree? How you like this season so far? So far, I'm kind of liking it more than I liked the last Miami season. Although it's still not the best. It's still not the best, but it's better than last season. I will say that much. So again, if you made it this far, you might as well hit the like button. Go ahead and get me in the algorithm. Get your girl monetized. I'm trying to get monetized. Also, share with any other Ready to Love fans. See what they got to say about it. Also, let's see. Hit the notification bell so you be notified about all of my uploads that are soon to come. And your girl about to go get some tea so I can sip on some tea and get to feeling better because I don't like feeling bad and I hate being sick, but I'd rather be me than my child any day. So I'll see y'all in the next video. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.